Okay, so the treatment for my article is concurrent treatment using randomized variable practice. There's a target phase in the beginning where the participant learns motor speech movements for different target sounds that they might need to work on. And then there's the randomized variable phase where the patient practices those target sounds but using different response phases. So they might practice those sounds in things like different syllables, words, phrases, sentences, and storytelling. This treatment is usually used for children with phonological or articulation disorders, but for this study it was practiced on children with apraxia of speech. I found this article interesting because I'm familiar with the treatment that they're using, but I thought it was interesting that they're using it on a different population and distributing it in a different way. The hypothesis for this treatment was children with apraxia of speech should reach target speech sounds during the randomized variable phase and produce target sounds to probes of words that they have not previously learned or to words that have similar syllable structures as single words and three-word phrases of the sounds that they had practiced as their target sounds. How the authors went about this is they used multiple baselines were used during the testing, and they would practice these using like a replication method. And what they did was every fifth session that the patient would come in, they would use a probe of the words that were untaught to them and see how many target sounds they were hitting off of that. The way that the results were displayed is that out of percentages of 100, and the results were taken after every time they did a baseline, a treatment, and probes. What they concluded is that randomized variable practice can be used with concurrent treatment to treat children with apraxia of speech, but they should do more testing since this was just one study that they did, just for generality purposes. A limitation to the study was that there was only 3 participants that ended up participating in it, but one thing that I thought was a strength was that their 3 participants were ages 4 through 6, and it's a very specific age, so it's focusing on a really small span of ages instead of making it very general. And something that I was taking from this was I think that the treatment works better for generalization and maintenance because it exposes a patient to a larger variation of sounds, since apraxia is a motor planning disorder. A lot of what is going on in the patient's head might seem random to them, so it's better to practice therapy across a variety of sounds and practice in no particular order, and that might be easier for them to have word retrieval. A question that I had was, I was wondering if this study might work with older populations since they only tried it with such a young population.